So I was bored and I decided this whole reviewing thing is kind of fun. So I decided this time to review Armageddon 2008, the DVD with Chris Jericho on the cover. Very cool. Very cool pay-per-view. Let us just get directly into this. Okay, so we did start off the night with Matt Hardy versus Vladimir Kozlov. Now, this was a non-title match, which at the time, and I actually, well, I understand why they did it, but it was kind of dumb. I mean, they could have had Matt Hardy win. No, I understand why it was non-title. They wanted to have Kozlov go over, but of course they wouldn't. They didn't want him to win the ECW title. It makes perfect sense, but still, whatever. Um, in storyline reasons, it didn't really make sense. This match was okay. Anyway, this match was okay. Kozlov has not looked good in the ring, except for in short spurts. But of not looking good in the ring, this was the best he ever looked. He looked very dominant here. Matt Hardy, I think, did a very good job of carrying him. He made him look dominant, and Kozlov wins. The streak continues. um, then the next match was Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk, the finals of the Intercontinental Championship tournament. Now this match, I mean, I'm happy that they actually did something. I mean, very little, but they did something with the IC belt. Because it's frustrating when they don't use mid card titles. So anyway, so this was the finals. They had Regal out there on his pimpin' throne. Um, and this match was really good. I mean, there was just some great technical wrestling at the beginning. Then they just kept countering, and there were a bunch of dives in this match. And it was just some really good wrestling. I mean, it was one thing after another. Rey Mysterio get on top, Punk trips him, he goes for the Bulldog. I think something happens, and then Mysterio gets a moonsault. He also takes a dive to the outside, and at the end, Punk hits the GTS. Whoa, Mysterio did not block it, and it busted his nose open. It looked sick. Now, anyway, the next match was, I guess, the Belfast Brawl between Finlay and Mark Henry. And there's not much to say here. It was a fun match. Really, Mark Henry looked very good in this match, better than he. There was a really cool spot where Finlay was in the corner with a trash can on his chest, and Mark Henry just pressed it and crushed the can. Very cool spot right there. He breaks a shillelagh, but Hornswoggle comes and gives Finlay another shillelagh for the win. Good match, better than expected. Next, I think there was a segment backstage that was very strange with Santino trying and the Boogeyman and Goldust. I mean, nothing there. Um, then there was the Batista versus Orton match, I believe, which it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but when the WWE puts two of their biggest stars, if not their two biggest stars, which I don't think they are, but two of their biggest stars anyway, nonetheless, they put them together in a match. You expect them to have a good match, and we all know by now that Batista isn't the greatest wrestler, but he can be carried to a good match when he's working with someone that can carry him. So, this can either attest to the fact that Orton can't carry him, or it could be that Batista didn't show up, which is what I think it is, because I personally love it. I think I'm a huge fan of Randy Orton. So I think Batista personally did not show up that much. It was just seemed to be him slamming Orton everywhere, a bunch of slams. Um, the ending was cool. The ending was cool where Orton, yeah, I won't ruin it for those of you who haven't seen it. Okay, and then the next match was the Santa's Little Helper tag team match. Shit. This match was bad. I was bored. They weren't bumping well. I don't know. The commentators were hysterical in this match. So they were just making all these old 70s and 80s references. Very funny. Very funny. That was funny. Um, the next we had for the World Heavyweight Championship, John Cena versus Chris Jericho. And this was not as good as their Survivor Series match. Definitely not as good. Um, their Survivor Series match was one of the most underrated matches of the year. It was fantastic. Um, but it was still good. The best part of it was really Jericho countering the FUs. They had some very original counters there. First, they just had him DDT, and then there was one counter where he he jumped off the second rope to the apron where Cena caught him in the FU. And then he got off and slammed Cena's head into the steel steps. It looked good. Um, and then there was another one where Cena went for the FU and Jericho flipped over and landed on his feet, which we have not seen before. And then he hit the code breaker, which looked marvelous. Um, of course, I didn't like the ending because it was like Cena held in the walls of Jericho. He was there forever. He didn't tap, and then Jericho gets put in the STFU for 1 second and he taps. It made Jericho look weak, and he has like job to Cena like 4 months in a row now or something. It's ridiculous. But it was still a good match. It was, yeah. And now we get to our main event of the night. Edge versus Triple H versus Jeff Hardy for the WWE Championship. Now this match was awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was fast paced from start to end. There was some hardcore side, and it was just cool. It started off with Jeff Hardy just knocking everyone down, knocking everyone down. He hit some cool whisper in the wind stuffs, just flying everywhere. He hits a swanton bomb early in the match on Triple H, but Edge pulls him out of the ring. They brawl along the announce tables. It looks like Triple H is gonna hit a pedigree. Hardy counters into a twist of fate. Triple H pushes him away and jumps off the table. Edge spears Hardy through the table. That was sick. And it was unexpected too. They did a good camera angle, not showing Edge. That was sick. That was very awesome. And then they came back into the ring, and they just kept working some cool spots. And then at the end, it looks like Edge is gonna get the win. And it looks like Triple H is going to get the win. He hits a pedigree. Jeff comes out of nowhere with the swanton. I thought they did a terrible job with the camera because it only shows him landing on Edge and it doesn't show the whole swanton. They could have just shown him doing that. And then he had his emotional celebration and, as we know, a shitty 1 month title reign. But it was, at that time, it was good. And people who hate Jeff Hardy, screw them, because it's like, I don't love him. But he's not as bad as people say he is, to be honest. And it was good. So anyway, this pay-per-view was very good. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, I hope you like my review.